Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
And that was not the new intro I thought it was, but welcome back to another episode of the Divinely Uninspired Podcast, the podcast from Journey Church, and I'm here with my surly best friend, Penny. How's it going, Penny?
Hey, Paul.
Hey, all right. Well, that's not how it's going, but that's cool. Jeremy, you good over there?
I am great.
Jeremy's also here, and I'm Paul, of course, and I would like to start this episode off with an apology to all, I'll call them the basics out there, the people who really, like if I were to ask you, Penny, your thoughts on the Natalie Holloway case, I'm sure you've got a lot of a lot of research and people who get into, things like that, and I think, what a waste of time, but I have really been too far into this this Kendrick and Drake thing and just all the intricacies, so I apologize. It's very fascinating when you have something stupid like that take over your life and you really start digging into the internet about it. So apologies to all the people who I've judged either internally or externally in the years past. So
that is a confession this morning.
Yep. Me and Usher, that's what we do. We get our confessions out there. So I also, because Penny so graciously called me out, and that's the kind of thing besties do when, they're doing something. I was told in a recent podcast that we'd already discussed a topic on this very podcast. So I like to go back and verify that things that...
Oh, my.
So I was checking back some of our early summer podcasts through the years. And before I was on this podcast 2 years ago, I found a whole lot of things. So I will start off with one quick... There was another confession that someone else at this table made, and I just want us to relive...
I hope it's Jeremy.
Relive this...
And not me.
Relive this moment.
So I don't even know what that was about. Was that a song?
It was
How
Taylor.
dare you?
It was
Yeah,
Taylor
no.
Swift's 22.
I don't like Taylor Swift.
Oh.
And I don't know if you just heard Penny gasp in real life, but she also gasped at the end of that clip from 2 summers ago when Jeremy made the confession on this podcast that he doesn't like Taylor Swift. So I couldn't believe he said it after all we've been through these last couple ones, but it was a good one.
That was 2 years ago.
It was episode 22, and there were some hot takes aplenty.
A lot has changed in 2 years.
It's true.
People can change.
People can change.
I never said I'd love Taylor Swift.
That's true, but
I just like her better than I did then.
That's good. Well, we all grow and we change. So we have, I'm going to ask Jeremy, this is not prepared for this because this was not on part of our agenda.
Okay,
but,
go ahead.
So also in that episode, you don't like wood bees. Have you thought any better about wood bees?
No, wood bees are the worst.
Oh,
Carpenter bees, they're awful. They're destroying my deck. I just built a new deck, and they're destroying it. So
yeah, they're not really carpenter bees as much as they are destruction bees. They're not.
I like to go out
anything.
with a tennis racket and swat them out of the air.
So what do they do? Like they
bore
holes, and then the integrity of the wood is
just one bee.
No.
Oh no.
No, it's like that. So they bore a hole. I've learned a lot about carpenter bees. Done a lot of research. So they bore a hole, and then the queen bee goes in there, like into the hole, and then like the other bees like go in, and then they make larvae, and then it's bad.
Okay.
What?
You have to clean the larvae out of the bee holes on your deck. That's all.
Exactly.
It's a lot happening.
Yeah. So I always laugh when we say that because I'm a child. But we also had those problems at our house. We had to fill them in with things, and then the bees come back and they go to that hole and they bump their head because the hole has been filled in. We have my uncle made. He took some badminton rackets and he put a better handle, like a big wood dowel, and he handed them out. So we just sit there, and if one comes by,
I take a tennis racket and I just go to town.
Well, it's a small, and it's a very satisfying, like dunk when you hit it. They're thick.
They fly.
Yeah,
Poor
and I don't feel a
bees.
bit. No, poor bees, poor humans when they step on their deck and it falls in because stupid holes.
Okay.
Stupid bees. Anyway,
and they're not
pollinators.
They're not pollinators.
No,
so
they're just idiots eating my deck away. So
and they don't have stingers, so they can't bother you. The only one that has a stinger is the queen bee, but she stays in the hole. So
yeah, idiot.
Yeah.
All right, and she gets filled in and then she's dead. And that's fine. So anyway, I was just checking on that. Also, did you ever go back and watch Homeward Bound?
No.
Oh,
what?
Missing out. I don't know. It was episode 22. You said you'd check it out.
You've never seen Homeward Bound?
I mean, I don't understand.
Is that like a shake of the head? No.
I mean, I said it 2 years ago. What makes you think in 2 years I was like, I'm gonna go check out Homeward Bound?
What is wrong with you?
You're very upset about this. I didn't realize it was gonna be so controversial.
What is
and your
wrong
children
with
need. Yeah, you should be watching that with your kids.
Why would I watch? Let me go ahead and guess. There's a sad part about a dog.
Several.
Yeah, and it would be real
not
sad.
all sad.
And yeah,
It wasn't our house. We couldn't watch it because
Yeah.
I thought, well, this will be good because it's a happy. I mean, spoiler if you're not going to go back and watch it.
No, don't. No, he needs to watch it.
So we had a dog, a doodle named Shadow, because he was black and he followed you everywhere, and people had already named him Shadow, and he had just died. And we watched the movie, and their dog was named Shadow. Their cream-colored lab.
I mean, I'm just gonna go ahead and guess the plot here. A dog gets lost in some way and tries to find its way home.
Not a dog. Two dogs and a cat.
2 dogs and a cat.
Michael J. Fox.
All right, so there's 3 and a cat, so there's 4.
No.
How many of them are still around at the end of the movie?
They were they're all dead now because this movie was 30 years ago, but
so
they made it to the end of the movie. So
yeah,
they're with all the
now I know the plot.
There's
Homeward Bound 2.
Homeward Bound 2.
I missed that
What's wrong with these animals? Why do they keep getting lost?
I think the adults leave them.
Sounds like awful owners.
I feel like they got left somewhere for the summer, and they said, no, we want to be with our family. I forget the plot. But anyway, It was a classic.
Gosh, it was so good.
It really was a classic.
Yeah.
All right, and so
it sounds like it. I'm glad I watched it.
All right, one more update.
All right.
How about this new Raceway by your house? Is it amazing?
It's great. I still go there all the time.
Okay, because that was being built when this was.
Yeah, so so you can go there and you can get 2 slices of pizza for my children, and I like their wings. Their wings are actually pretty good. And then
that's a Raceway gas station.
The Raceway gas station. Yeah, they have good protein bars. They have barbells, protein bars, and they have. It's actually where I got this water bottle, this reusable water bottle. And they have a good drink selection. They have Krispy Kremes that get delivered every morning there.
For you not watching because there's no video feed of this, Jeremy has a plastic metal.
It's metal. It's
reusable
like
water bottle
it's
with
like
Patrick
a real
Starfish.
Yeah, I don't know what his name is. It was just the one I picked out.
That's definitely Patrick.
Yeah, it says Patrick on it, doesn't it? It's a nick. Anyway,
it's refillable. It's reusable. I love the earth, unlike some people at the table.
We won't say who they are.
Plastic water bottles.
I'm drinking out of a Stanley right now.
Where did you get that water?
Where did you get yours?
This one came in the water bottle, and then when I need more, I'll go to the water fountain out there and stick it underneath the bottle thing and refill it.
Guys, this isn't about who loves the earth more.
But no, I do love the Raceway.
Jeremy fixes his carbon footprint of killing the bees.
Recap: how long ago was that? You said 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I do tolerate Taylor Swift now.
That's nice growth.
So I can do that.
It is growth.
I still haven't seen Homeward Bound.
Yeah,
still hate Carpenter bees.
Yep.
And the racetrack is pretty awesome.
So, what if you had Raceway versus Buc-ee's?
What's racetrack, not Raceway? Raceway is a different.
Wait, so it's
Raceway is different, but Raceway is down south, and I do like Raceways better than a racetrack.
There was a Raceway that was
But we're also Buc-ee's is coming in. It's going to be open in June, so I'm definitely taking a trip down on the way to Bowling Green. It's like an hour from here.
Man,
so there's a Buc-ee's an hour ago. We're also about to get a Wawa in Mount Washington, and there's rumors there might be one in Shepherdsville, so that'll be a big day.
Yeah.
And then Cuties just got a contract, so they're going to start being in Tennessee, so they'll eventually make it up. QTs.
It's
2 separate letters.
I was trying to figure
QT.
out. I was like, Cuties. Like
so there's
oranges?
a lot of big gas station news coming down the pipe.
So
Jeremy knows all about it.
Stay tuned to the podcast for all your gas station updates.
I mean, a Wawa is a game changer. Like that's.
I've had them in Pennsylvania. I've been there.
They're amazing.
I was not. It was fine.
I was not impressed.
But I don't like people went crazy when Publix got here, and I'm like, it's Publix, it's fine.
You weren't impressed with a Wawa?
No. Didn't we all go to one in Orlando?
I wasn't there for that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Jeremy's like, let's all go in here. And we all went in, and it was like, I'm going to get murdered. That's what it looked like. It was not a good one.
Well, I mean, there's good ones and bad ones, I'm sure.
It was a bad one.
Okay, well.
So.
Maybe we should have left you there, and then you could have like experienced it. And just
Wow.
That's what Jeremy thought.
Okay, well, so let's just jump into it with this hostility. So I don't know if you all checking the news, and you all that are listening, or you all that are here at the table. Neuralink, which is the another crazy invention or idea by Elon Musk, and if you've seen some of his other ones, I don't know if I'd let him do this to me, but they put this this device in someone's brain who could not do much. I believe he had paralysis, and it was awesome at first, and things were going well. He was being able to do things with his mind that he couldn't do, before, and he could control things and manipulate things. But now, to the shock of no one, it is experiencing a problem, and several of the things are coming undone in his head. So it is. Did you all read this article at all?
Can it be removed? No, I didn't.
Can the Neuralink be removed? Now that is, I do not know. I do know that when they were testing them on chimps, that they were causing it. I believe several were going crazy. Bad things are happening. But if you're the richest person in the world, you get away with things.
I mean, isn't this like a plot in like all these like scary science fiction movies that like somebody gets like some type of like computer part put in their brain and then it takes over and then they start becoming like mass murderers or something?
I've never
like
seen
this
a good one where people got something put in and it improved.
I didn't say
their
they were
life.
good.
No,
I
what I'm
just said-
saying.
yeah.
No, I'm saying I've never seen
Where it
a
made
situation
their life better.
like, oh, this is great. Yeah, it's always like 3 months of enjoyment and then.
I feel like the brain too is just something we should probably just leave alone because I feel like like hearts and kidneys and lungs and all that stuff, like they're organs, they do what they're told for the most part, but your brain's what's telling everything else to do what it's supposed to do, and I feel like that's a lot.
Yeah, I don't have I don't know how I would feel if I was paralyzed or if I had issues like that where I'd want to test something like this out or be the first human to really get something like this going, but I don't like people poking around up there. It seems like
a bad idea.
a bad idea. What do you think about that, Penny?
Yep. Sorry.
Big 10-4
I'm
from
just
Penny.
distracted by something.
It's fine. Well, I mean, if you
Hey,
didn't
we're
have
in
your
the
phone
middle
out,
of something here, so
Sorry.
middle of a podcast.
We are on fire. So,
You all were having a conversation. I was just
well, it's a
zoned out
three-way
for a moment. Sorry.
conversation. So, anyway, I didn't know. Apparently, we don't have a lot of big thoughts on it. So we'll move on.
I just think it's a bad idea. I think I'm pro like any scientific advancements to help humans. I just feel like the brain is just something we still don't. I mean, neuroscience is a relatively new like study. You know, I mean, so it's like we don't know. I think we need to.
Well, I think it's situational. Like, let's say if an older person gets dementia and they are able to fix it with something like this, like, don't you think you would do it? I mean, not like, you know what I'm saying? Like, wouldn't you?
I think that. Well, I mean, the whole point that Paul's saying in the article is it sounds like that they're now having all these complications.
Well, this is the
right?
first. I mean, this is
Yeah.
the first.
Yeah, but when you're 80, does it really matter if you have complications?
I don't want to take sides on this, but I do like how you really hit the eye in dementia.
Yeah. What about like short-term memory for like younger people?
Probably not the best idea.
Yeah.
It's just best not to.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, at what point would you be like? Because you said 80, so like, let's say you're in your 40s and you're like struggling with like you know what I'm saying? Like, what point do you say?
So me
this
day
is-
to day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what point do you say? Okay, that's too far.
I would say age is the point of
Well,
it's
what is the age too far? Is like when do you go?
We
I had all my
mess
good
with-
times.
yeah.
Let's go.
75?
All right.
It got-
We apologize to everybody that.
I don't know. I'll have to ask
If you're
somebody
like
who's
75
75
and older listening to a podcast, I say good for you. You
I
don't
will
need this
ask my
Neuralink.
mom and dad. How about that? They're like early 70s and
Yeah.
be like, hey, if something were to happen, would you be okay with this?
I make sure that you say, I, Penny, will not be putting this in your brain. We will go to a hospital. We'll have this done. It'll be
Right.
fine. Well, all right. So I have a lot of thoughts on this that'll go into the next article as well. But what are you familiar with the movie?
Terminator, yes.
Yes, Terminator. That is exactly what I was going for. I can't think of it now. It's got
The Matrix, yes.
Jeremy loves science. He loves science fiction. Is it Limitless? Where the guy
Oh,
takes-
yeah. When they got, yes, I have seen that.
So I think a lot of people, they hear things like this and they're like, oh.
He can become a superhero.
Or, I mean, The Matrix is another good one where
Yeah.
they're like, oh, I put this in my brain and I can learn Kung Fu. I can learn
But
whatever.
Limitless is where he becomes like crazy. Like, isn't that like where he's getting beat up that one time and then the thing takes over and it like, is that what I'm thinking of?
There's more of them. We need to look at some of these
Limitless
movies.
is the guy takes the pill and it makes him a genius.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. No, there's another one that's similar to that where a guy gets a robotic thing put into his brain. And like one of the scenes is like he's going, like somebody kills his family, he gets left for dead. And so they put this robot thing in him, and then like he gets like becomes like a superhero.
Yeah.
But there's like a scene where like he's getting beat up because he thinks he has like this armor, but he has to like let the computer take over.
Oh.
So he gives it permission to take over, and then it like he goes crazy.
I do
Anyway.
not know that one. But that also sounds, I mean, anytime that something like this happens in the real world, I always look back at that and go, have we not been watching movies like this for 30 years where everything goes wrong? Like we start doing all the AI stuff and you're like, there's no happy outcome.
I
when
think
the world
too, what's
gets taken over
crazy
by
is
AI.
it's advancing so fast that like when they made some of those movies, they probably thought, well, that'll never happen. And then now we're like at a place where it's like, oh, that might actually could happen.
That's true. Well, so my wife was watching something on Netflix yesterday, Atlas with Jennifer Lopez, who apparently is acting again, and she had to hook her brain into some kind of AI and bond with it to fight. Who knows? I couldn't deal with it. It was not.
There's
great,
just too much going on. That's why we need to take time to watch movies like Homeward Bound. Just remember the good days.
You know what? There's something so quaint and amazing about Homeward Bound because while the animals talk, it's Garfield style talking. Their mouths don't move. It's almost like you can hear their thoughts because they did not have the technology to make the mouths move. It wasn't Air Buddies.
I'm kind of glad they didn't. Like,
No,
I
it was
like the inner
charming.
thought. Yeah.
You know what? It would be a cool technology is if we could figure out a way to talk to animals. Like that's got to be on. I mean, they're doing this. Like that we could actually like
that is
talk to
interesting.
dogs and like.
Now,
actually-
well, so I talk to my dog every day.
Well, I
don't
mean,
know.
I talked about dog. I don't understand what it's saying back.
Well, that's okay. So see, I think okay. Well, this is
You understand?
this is a good topic because I think that would be a curse. We actually now me and my wife do not do drugs, but we had quite a talk yesterday in the front yard about like if you could hear ants and bugs speak, like all day you would just be walking and they'd be going watch out, you know.
One of my favorite jokes.
And there'd be millions of voices and you wouldn't know what to do.
I got laughing really hard yesterday. I was mowing the grass and I was listening to Nate Land and they were telling this joke that they're working on about how like you ever like picked up a bug and like moved it like it was like let's say like you picked up an ant and you moved it like 10 feet to the right or whatever.
Right.
It would be like picking us up and like taking us to like Montana.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like in their world, they're like, what just happened? Like I'm in a completely different world now.
Well,
but like we don't think about that. Like, you know, they're so small.
Well, we said it with because our kids are like, kill that bug. I'm like, I'm not killing that bug, but we'll flick it off of like the wall or the table, and you just
Or like
and it's
imagine
it took
like,
all day to get there.
You ever had like a bug get stuck to like your car window and like
Oh,
you
yeah.
drive it and like it's riding with you all the way? Like,
Yeah.
what is that bug thinking? Like it was here, like at its like home nest, whatever.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like taking it to Russia, you know, like you're at Kroger and it's just like, what, where am I now?
And see if you
Its whole life has changed.
if you can hear what the bugs are saying. That's all you.
It's probably like I was doing something, you know.
The bugs are complaining all day long.
Yeah.
And that's all they're doing.
Well,
Well, what would you? I mean, best case scenario, what would you hear from your dog?
that he loves me.
But can't you just tell?
No, but sometimes like our dog. I mean, dogs are kind of dumb too. I mean, they're awesome, but they're kind of dumb. But I'd just like to know, like, you know, what's he thinking?
All right. Well, there
Like
you go.
every time my dog hears a noise, he assumes someone's at our house,
Oh yeah, I met
like
your dog.
trying to kill us. And I'd like to be able to be like, no, it's okay. It's called a dryer. They're
our-
totally fine.
Oh, he doesn't like the dryer. That's
Oh,
bad.
it's a dryer because
It's
it makes
in
the
house.
chiming noise at the
Oh.
end. And he's heard the thing. I don't know. He's 6, so he's heard it probably 4,000 times. That every time you would just think that it's like a brand new noise that he's never heard before.
Now, on the risk of, I think we're losing Penny over here, but do you have a doorbell at your house that you use?
No, we have a doorbell, but we had turned off. Doorbells drive me crazy.
Well, so we don't have a doorbell either, but if a doorbell goes off on the TV, the dogs go crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, you've never had a doorbell. Why is this something that you respond to?
My favorite thing to do with my
doesn't
dog.
make sense.
I'm kind of mean, but my dog loves me. He's like, I'm his person.
Oh,
So like
that's
he is
yeah.
completely attached to me. But I like to sometimes on the TV put on like on YouTube like dogs barking noises
yeah.
just to see how he responds. And then I also have an app for like the dog, like the noise, the frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I do it just to see like what point. No, it doesn't hurt him. It's just to see what point he'll respond.
We put up videos of squirrels chittering and
Yeah.
guinea pigs, and Goldie, that's our shepherd weird fatty mix. She just stands up and like she does that whine thing because she thinks there's a big squirrel somehow. She'll run in and look behind the wall where the TV, like the kitchen, and she's like, I know there's a big squirrel. Where is it? And
But I think talking to dogs would be cool because too, like if your dog has to go to the bathroom, like sometimes the dog wants to go out and you're like, I don't want to deal with this right now. But it'd be like, no, like I really have to go right now.
well, that's
That'd
true.
be good.
Our
Or is it like just peeing on the floor?
we started off Christmas. It's summer vacation with
Christmas.
We had about 36 hours of rain. Butters threw up, and he left a big warm prize down at the bottom of the stairs in between two pairs of shoes. So in my head, I think he thought, Dad will be so mad if I run either of these pairs of shoes.
Yeah.
Right in the middle, though. It was quite a Friday of first day of school. So, yeah, if he could have been like, hey, Dad, let's go.
Yep.
And I'd say, I'm not really your dad, but it's fine. All right. So, moving on. Talking to dogs. So,
That'd be fun.
yeah, well, it's debatable. I feel like it would be real. I feel like if your kids don't shut up, dogs aren't going to shut up. You'd get tired of it. So, there's another story, and I will find a way to mix these together, but it turns out America, we're throwing away as much as $68 million worth of change every year. Now, as a church that has not the biggest budget in the world, I see things like this. And as coming from a home that does not have the biggest budget in the world, what a waste of money. What do you think about change, Penny? Are you diligent with it?
I actually hate change. I hate it, but I have said that about Journey. I'm like, let's just put out some buckets and people can dump their change in it when they don't want it anymore because it just sits around at the house.
What about a water feature, like in the lobby? They could throw it in, like a wishing well?
Yeah, we can do that.
well?
We can get one of those big...
We have one of those.
No, it doesn't. It's not the same. It's not the same. It needs to be really big so they can watch the penny go around.
Well, that actually is that. It just does not have the little thing on the side that makes it spin. It is disappointing because I saw that come in the room and I said,
you know what we need to get? We need to get like the thing they have at the zoo where you put the penny in and you crank it and then it turns it and we could do like Bible verses on it or something.
Put a picture of you on it.
Yeah.
Put a picture of Jeremy, a collectible penny.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things. Have you gotten one of those lately anywhere?
No.
They were wildly expensive at
That's what I'm saying. We're going to make money off them.
At Disney World.
I
I believe they were $4.
Yeah, you collect
we're
them.
solving two problems.
Yeah.
We're getting all the coins dealt with, and they're donating.
No, so it's funny. Like you don't even have to have the penny anymore.
Yeah,
you just have to put your credit card in,
Yeah.
give them
Get a
$4,
penny.
and they crush one out. And it's to me, it feels like a felony because you're defacing money. But
well, they stopped making pennies. So
is that true?
Yeah, in 2023 they stopped making pennies. So all the pennies that are currently in, I don't know how Penny feels about that.
I was going to say
Her name is
she
attached to it.
They stopped. They broke the mold when they
They
made
were
this penny
basically like
down here.
we're
right, Penny.
only nickels from here on out.
Oh man,
Sad.
I didn't realize they stopped making pennies, but that's one of the things that they said it cost like a 2 cents to make a penny. Or
Yeah,
something.
so they stopped making them. So all the pennies that are, I'll be honest with you, like a lot of times now, every place is doing it, and kudos to them because I'm a sucker for it. But whenever I never pay cash, first of all, like everything's credit card or Apple Pay or Venmo. But when I do have cash and get change, they'll often be like, "Do you just want to donate the change to whatever, like the Taco Bell?"
Oh, I do every time.
I do every time. I'm like,
I do
"Yep."
every time.
If this change, I know it's not really probably going to the
Do you
Taco
know what
Bell
I say?
fund.
No, you can't hint.
You know what I'm talking about? The Taco
yeah.
Bell fund.
Well, yeah. So here's the deal. All right. So you go to McDonald's. It's $5.03. Would you like to round up to $6 for whatever? And I say, no, that hash brown was $2. Why don't you give 90 cents of that thing that you spent 10 cents for? Multi-billion-dollar company.
If I worked at fast food and I got you, I would give you 97 cents in nickels back. I would just be
that's
like,
fine. How do you give 97 cents in nickels?
Well, I wouldn't give you the pennies. They're not in distribution anymore.
Oh, well then, yeah. So I'm with the boomers on this with the money. I'm sorry. It's crazy the rounding for, or if it's like if it's $5.25, Taco Bell could keep the $5 and they could put the quarter.
Why can't they just make it to where everything comes out even? Like, I mean,
this is the idea.
This is what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
you know what tax is, so like it may
I
range
know.
from. But I'm saying like, okay, so it's 8 cents on the dollar here in Shepherdsville because of our tourism tax. But okay, so let's say a combo meal is $7. All right, we'll just build the tax into it to where it comes out to $8. Then I'll never know the difference. It's like tipping. I'm a pro. If you just built tip into the cost of the meal, I'll tip you whatever you want. Just don't make me have to figure that out. Like, just build it into the cost of the meal. So if normally this chicken was $12, just charge me $15 for it, and I don't have to deal with tipping. Like, just I'll gladly do that.
Well, I agree.
You
with
as the
that.
restaurant take care of paying your employee. That's not my job. If you take it out of me and my meal, that's fine. But I don't like the tipping. I'm a pro tipper. Like, I love to tip because I know they don't make any money. I just wish it was built into the cost of the meal.
Well, I think that is there's something to be said about the visual of that, where people say, "Oh, don't worry about it, no tipping," and they just, they give you like a service fee. Even though I think California is doing away with that because people were complaining, because then they were also asking for tips on top of that. But I think as an organization, as companies, you look better if you're not looking like you're nickel and diming people.
Yeah.
One of the guy that took over right before COVID for Disney got in a lot of trouble because he started charging for stupid things like parking at hotels and stuff, and they said, if you wanted $10 more a person, you just raise the price of the room $10 and then say parking's free, and people. But it's just a little bit of thinking that you're
just
getting.
don't make me do it. Just you figure it out.
Yeah, and I think personally,
you figure it out.
well, I guess if something like $5.25, if McDonald's was like, we round down and give that money to charity, people would go, oh.
But like,
They'd
even
be
if
so
they
happy.
like made it up, even if the meal
Even if
really
it- well,
was
they're making it all up.
$5.54, if they just said, "Hey, your meal's $6," I'm not doing the math in the drive-through parking lot. I don't care. Just tell me it was $6. Here's $6. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you could be lying to me. I would not care
Well, they're
as
lying.
long as
That's-
I don't have to figure out the change here.
Well, I think that's the thing. It just needs to look better for the people. So, Penny, do you use change?
I hate change.
Okay, gosh. Well, like
I hate
like
the
money
smell of
change?
it. I hate the feel of it in my hands. Like it's gross.
You hate the feel of coins?
Yeah, I don't like
What?
it.
You're
It
like
feels
the
weird.
Reverse Scrooge McDuck. You're like the opposite of all that.
It's just weird. Money is weird. Coins smell funny.
They smell like metal.
It's because they've been in millions of people's hands and they've been in
They've
a
been-
drawer.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so that's one struggle that our youngest is having in school is money, and they're like, well, why is she having trouble with this? And I'm like, she's never used a nickel because first of all, she's 8, and second, we don't really like toss change at her. She doesn't use a lot of.
You don't toss change.
Here's her. I mean, it's not like come rub my foot. Here's a quarter, like Christmas vacation. Like we don't really giving kids change doesn't really it doesn't stand out anymore. When they're like, I need $50 for Roblox, and you're putting a quarter in their Easter egg, they're not really, that's not life anymore. It's sad.
Go ahead.
So what's the article like? How did they know it was 68 million?
Well, so this is the
we got way off the article.
Yeah, so
who cares?
This trash company, they have a machine that separates the money from the trash, like when it goes through.
Where does the money go to after
To
that?
this company,
They are making hand over fist.
in
it sounds
7
like.
years since they've started using it, they've collected $10 million worth of coins out of the garbage. This one company.
So we need to start going to the dumpsters.
Yeah, let's do it.
But we have to have also the machine that sorts it, and I call not it. But so this person here says, if you lost a $100 bill, you'd look for it. If you lost a $20 bill, you look for it. But a penny, you're not going to look for it. But
Right.
those pennies, you take care of the change and the dollars.
Have
take
you
care
ever
of
thrown
themselves.
change away?
No.
What?
Yeah.
I have.
I mean, what a bunch of.
One time I went to the I didn't throw it away, but I went to like the car wash and they have like the the vacuum and I had like a bunch of coins like in the middle thing
Oh,
and I
those have
wasn't
been-
paying attention and I just sucked up a bunch of coins and I
I've
was
done
like,
that
oh well.
do that.
Well, you say, well, yes.
It's-
Oh well,
it's what it is.
If it is what, but I didn't go. Well, there's a big pile of quarters here. I don't want those.
Oh,
and
no.
suck, suck,
There's
suck,
a
suck.
limit. You don't
Yeah,
throw away quarters.
Quarters are different.
But like if it's like a penny
there's the
and like a
line.
nickel, I'll be like,
I'll be honest, I didn't care for dimes. Dimes are like
just throw them away. And then I think about, man, if someone finds this, like 10,000 years from now, it's gonna be awesome.
Did you say when are they gonna find it?
10,000 years.
Well, that's not.
No,
gonna be worth
we're
much
all
then.
we're done. We're done.
We're done
by
in
then.
10,000 years.
Yeah,
Well, we are.
We're
We've
done
got about
for
10 more
sure.
years
No, we're
tops, the three of
not.
us, so.
But I think the world's probably done in 10,000 years.
Oh.
We're not doing very good. I don't know if you know that or not. But
So how many years are we talking about?
But this is not my topic.
it depends on when the robot brains take over. So going back to our previous article. So, I mean, Terminator is going to happen at some point.
Have you seen this isn't. Well, we have the. Can someone just stop Boston Dynamics? Like, is there a way that someone
No.
can just come in there and blow that place up? Because
Because they're just going to keep, yeah.
they're like, what you need is you can buy now, Penny, a robot dog that has a flamethrower as a person. You could buy that for like $10,000.
Awesome.
So if you can buy that for the consumer, what kind of other things do they have that, a robot that can track you and chase you and blow fire? Why would you need that? And the robots are like, look at this robot. It can bounce on a ball while holding a gun and then run upstairs. I'm like, people are clapping for it. I'm like, you're
So-
excited now, but you'll be sad when it turns
So
around.
we're throwing away a lot of money. But that, I mean, 68 million.
Well, back to the topic. Thank you, Jeremy. Sorry.
We got off. 68 million, though, really is, I mean, for us, that's a lot of money. But when you think about how many people are in America, that's not that much money. Like 68 million, so there's 350 million Americans. So you're talking each person is throwing away less than 50 cents.
Did you just do that math?
Yeah.
Is anybody going to check it? Everybody online right now? Check
No,
it.
actually, it's even less than 50 cents because if you did 68 million into,
Okay.
right? So 334. So it's maybe like 33 cents, 34 cents.
This can't be right. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
No, because 68 into 334 would 350 would be because
We
would
have
be
lost
five.
so many people.
So,
We need
Six
to
times
move
so we
on.
can't
five.
talk about robots, but we're going to do this math that we
Right.
I'm just
like 5
saying.
cents.
It's like
It's not 50. It's 5. But still, 68.
I said less than 50.
But what I'm saying is, so many things could be done with $68 million.
So each American is throwing away a nickel every year.
I mean, we throw away way more than that. But
Penny definitely does. Apparently.
Penny's just tossing it. She's a handful of trash. Well, I got some gum wrappers and Old Werther's and.
But I do think
75 cents. Toss that.
I do think the good thing that came out of this conversation is that restaurants just need to figure out their stuff and just stop, make everything an even number. And if tipping's involved, just build it into the bill. And
We
I'll
have
just-
discussed
I would
tipping
just-
before.
Well,
I would
yeah,
just
see,
have,
I
but
wasn't bringing it
I
up.
still
I
want
didn't
them
bring
to.
it up.
I still want there to be a tip line because
Okay.
I want to write something in.
And
Like,
real quick, we have not talked about it, but I know y'all don't like fast food too much. You all have said in the past, Jeremy just gets a burger and nothing else. Have you had a Grandma McFlurry yet?
What?
At McDonald's, the
All right,
Grand
first of
Mall
all, I'm just
McFlurry.
going to go ahead and say this about Penny. I think that Penny really likes fast food. It's just she doesn't want to say that she likes fast food.
She's
We
eating a
shouldn't.
chicken sandwich right now.
We should not eat it. But we're in Shepherdsville. We have really no choice around here.
Shots fired, Shepherdsville. So
Yeah.
a Grand Mall McFlurry.
No,
What is
that a
that?
real thing? Like
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
product they're making?
It is it turns out it's Werther's flavored, but they just don't have a
Oh,
Werther's.
I love that.
I would do a Werther's
Podcast
flavor.
is over, and we're all going to
I
McDonald's.
love Werther's.
It is a butterscotch flavor. They just can't say Werther's, I think, because they're not using the actual candy.
Oh, I love Werther's.
So
This is at McDonald's or
yeah,
Dairy Queen?
It's McDonald's because
Oh,
I drove
I-
through.
I
and
don't even
said,
like ice cream that much, but I
a
would eat
Grandma
that.
McFlurry.
Yeah, I love a Werther's.
All right.
I have a bag. I don't know if I ever told y'all this. Maybe apparently I repeat myself a lot, but we've said a lot of words in 4 years, however long this thing's been going on, 3 years. I have a bag of Werther's next to my bed all the time, and every night
Next
before I
door,
go
he
to
puts
bed,
his teeth in his twice.
I
There's
have a
so
little,
much
I have a
happening
little
right there.
Little Werther's, Katie. This is a real story. I have Werther's in my truck right now. If you guys want some, so
Listen, Werther's are delicious. My daughter is 12, and that's her favorite candy.
I don't
And
keep them in my pocket because I'm not full on old man yet, but I do have a bag.
Have you
of 'em.
been to Epcot before?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the Werthers, they have it, and they make like caramel popcorn with
No,
it.
that is the best.
So
They have it at
stupid
Magic Kingdom
good.
too. Yeah, but they just throw it right in the bin and they just melt it and
Oh,
just.
it's so good.
I brought some back last time, and it's the best thing. So, well, the reason these two stories kind of go together is because coming from my, and this is one of the things that I know that you are good at, putting some context on, Jeremy. My Southern Baptist roots, which I do credit for a lot of who I am as a person, good and bad, but the going towards. I think the basis of this money thing is that people are going cashless more and more, so it's not a big deal, and they're putting things in their brains and stuff like that. And everything in my Southern Baptist spider sense is saying we're this close to, Mark of the Beast, brain chips, and is that? What you got? Any thoughts on that? Because
So the mark of the beast has already happened. That would have been, again, in Revelation when it talks about that would have been a reference to Rome and their trading. So that stuff's already happened. Now, is that also speaking to future stuff? I don't know.
I just say this is the kind of thing that, like, growing up the way I was raised, that it's like, no.
Yeah.
I will hold on to these dollars, and I will not let someone put a brain chip in me under any circumstance.
Yeah, I think the problem with all this stuff is we're against it till we need it, and then it's like, okay. Like, it's like AI. Like, churches were all, like, anti-AI. And then pastors realized how easy it is to write a sermon with Chat GPT. And so it's like, all right, now we're all, like, into AI all of a sudden.
But does that make it okay that you're...
I don't know if it makes it okay. What are you gonna do at this point? Like, here's my thing with it all. I've always thought, like, God gave us the ability to create, and we've created a lot of stuff, and some of it's really cool, some of it's pretty wasteful, but I don't know. I don't get into the semantics of whether that's like, and I think too, like, the guys that wrote the Bible, I mean, like, they would have lost their minds at television, much less, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they would have no context.
Like a radio would have been...
Print. They would have had no context for a printing press, So, I mean, we're so far beyond, like, that when it comes to technology that it's like, I don't know.
Okay, well, I will keep sending my dollars. If you have any change that you don't want, you can put it in an envelope and mail it to Paul at journeyshepherdsville.com. I don't think that's how mail works anymore, but I haven't sent a letter in years either, so I'm not sure how any of this goes. So I just turned that one off. So, all right, well, moving on, I will say, summer's on its way, and I was looking up. Last year we got into a big Barbenheimer discussion, and
I saw the Barbie movie. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think it was that great.
well, you didn't like Taylor Swift, but 2 years from now it'll be your favorite movie.
It was not. No, first of all, Taylor Swift is not my favorite. I will. There is no world where that is becoming part of it. But I do tolerate her now.
Oh, well, it's very progressive. So, anyway, we're not talking about those again. We are talking about this summer, and we just got through Memorial Day, and it was the worst box office Memorial Day in 30
For a
years.
good reason.
And so this Furiosa movie, this Mad Max, did you all see the last Mad Max that came out?
Yes, actually, I heard it's really good.
I've heard this one's good too.
Yeah.
But
No, the first one is good. I'm just saying I've heard this one is good as well.
How is it good? It's the same concept.
No, well, in
they're going to
contrast-
live in an apocalyptic world. They're going to have cars that go in the desert. They need gas to get their cars, and it's just they're going to kill each other over gas.
Okay, well,
so the last Mad Max, if it's a hot take, I don't know. People loved it. They said it was, the best movie that's ever been made. I thought it was pretty bad. It was people got in a car, they drove one direction.
That's what I'm saying.
They stopped and they came back and went the other. That was the plot of the movie, and things happening.
The only Mad Max that is good is the Mel Gibson one.
okay. I wouldn't go to the movies and see it, but I will watch it when it comes out.
Well, this one is supposed to be better, but again, people were so excited about that last one, and I said this movie.
People have said that about Dune, and I have no desire to see the
that
second
first
one.
Dune was a little. It's on HBO Max now.
I know,
Max,
I
whatever.
know.
And
I'm avoiding it.
I'll probably check it out, but it's
They made a Garfield movie.
They need to put that to rest.
Well, I don't know if you saw
Garfield?
it.
Yeah.
Garfield made like $1 million less than Furiosa. It was number 2 this week with $30 million. It looks terrible.
What they should have done was a hybrid of Garfield and Furiosa. Like I would watch a Garfield Mad Max movie.
Well, so Garfield, I believe, is
Is it
Who is
public?
that?
this
Who is that a
from
picture of?
Chris
Chris
Hemsworth.
Oh, okay.
I've actually heard he's pretty funny in it.
He's the best. Chris Hemsworth is a
It's
joy.
a very big arm.
So Garfield, his dad shows up. It's in the Samuel L. Jackson is his dad for some reason.
Like his dad, like his owner, or like his
No,
dad
his
is
dad,
the
not
cat?
John Arbuckle. It's his
Okay.
actual dad shows up. I believe Chris Pratt, of course, is Garfield. I think.
I feel like maybe he's done too much
He's done too much.
recently. And
No.
it's not. And Garfield's like, that's so old school. We just need to kind of retire.
I like Garfield. He loves lasagna. Do you
Hates
not like
Mondays.
lasagna down there? He hates Mondays. He likes to take naps.
Well, that kind of
He's
sounds like me.
I was gonna say Garfield is all of
But
us. Let's just say
it's just very
Ving
old
Rhames
school.
is in it.
I always liked Odie. I did like Odie.
And see, you
The dumb dog.
you would
Yeah.
love. You could talk to Odie, find out what's going on.
Exactly.
Garfield, the old ones, like those are the cartoon holiday specials. Those are my favorite. We saw this trailer, and my kids like, "Ooh, we'll go see that." And
I will say, here's what I think is going to happen with movies, though. I mean, I think we probably have talked about this before, so I'm waiting for someone to call me out for it.
oh my
But
gosh, this
I mean,
guy.
I feel like there's so much content that's being made directly for Netflix, HBO, Hulu, Amazon, that like some of the best movies I've seen are these one like. The best probably 4 or 5 movies I've seen in the last several years have not been in a theater. They've
Yeah.
been directly on like Netflix or like.
What is the best thing you've seen in the last few years? Because I see all these movies come out, and I go, "No, I've got no desire to." see
Actually,
these
so
movies.
I wouldn't say it's like the greatest movie, but like actually entertainment wise, like Gray Man was straight to Netflix, and that was
I didn't see it.
what's his name? The guy not Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Gosling.
Gosling.
And then actually, there's
Star
another
of
movie with
Barbie
Chris
movie.
Hemsworth where which one's the one that's Thor?
Yeah, that
Chris
one,
Hemsworth.
Chris.
He made a couple movies.
Extraction. Those are
Both
good.
of those
there
were
was
good.
another one with
Those are not
Chris
great
Pratt.
plot movies. Those are like movies I just want to watch somebody just
Blow things up.
blow things up. Those are great. But no, there's like that movie that was made with Julia Roberts and the one actor that about the end of the world. Like,
Pretty Woman 2.
no.
this is how it, I don't know.
But that
Is
was
this
a
how we do
straight
it?
to
Is that what
Netflix.
you're
This
gonna
is how we do
Well,
it. Yeah.
Bird Box, that was another one, right?
Oh,
that was
no.
Netflix. I like that one.
We
There
have-
was several. I
agree
agree
to
with
disagree.
Jeremy on that one.
So I
Actually,
think a lot of really good content is being made directly, and my brain's not working 100% this morning, but a lot of that content is going straight to
Yeah.
and so it's bypassing the theater. I've even seen like on Apple TV now, almost every movie that's out in theaters right now, you can go ahead and watch from Apple TV like right now. Like it's
for
$24.
like, I'm just gonna say it's like
But that's still
$25.
cheap. Have you been to the theater
But,
recently?
but you're
I
throwing
mean,
nickels in the trash, so $24 is nothing.
but to go to a movie is going to be like $30, even if you go see a matinee.
and then you get popcorn at 70. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's fine. Well, I was last year. We were real excited that they pushed that Barbenheimer thing together so you could get ready for the summer, and then people went crazy, saw both those movies, and this year it's looking a little.
Have you seen both?
No, I never watched Oppenheimer because I don't have 3 hours to sit and watch.
Oh, but my point was going to be,
Oh,
I think
wow.
that it's all going to get down to like Marvel and DC movies are going to be the only thing in the theater.
Well, I'm going to say Marvel movies because I don't know.
Yeah,
how long
DC is awful, but yeah.
Well, this Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be
Yeah, that'll be a
amazing.
big one. But that's a Marvel movie, right?
That is a Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to be marvelous because Hugh Jackman's coming back as Wolverine.
I
and
agree.
He's the best. So anyway, all right. Well, so we're not looking too forward to movies this summer, but we can get to some serious business now. Now, Jeremy, he has been wowing us, from the preaching stage this last little bit, and I forget how I phrased it in the thing, but I really enjoyed what he was talking about Sunday, and I thought maybe he would like to, expound on that a bit. I think a format such as this podcast is good because you're not really just sitting and listening to, 30 minutes of Jeremy speak, which is not bad, but, you can't really go in depth. But something, again, growing up, you didn't really hear of yourself being the church, the concept of the church. Like, you would go to church often begrudgingly as a child. Like, get up, we're going to church. I don't want to, but hey, you are. But instead of being told, well, you are the church, let's go fellowship with other people and then go out and do better in our day-to-day life. So what do you think about that, Jeremy? You got any?
I mean, you've got to sum it up. But
well,
yeah.
I mean, that's...
No, I have always wrestled with, now, again, I started a church here, so that's part of it. I've always wrestled
a building,
with,
not...
Yes. I've always wrestled with, like, the idea of you attend church, and I've always wrestled with, like, for most people, like, their God experience, God life, and I'm not saying all people, really revolves around 1 hour a week, right?
Right.
And so it's like, is that really, I don't know. And I think that that's just problemsome. I think that most people, like we talked about serving on Sunday, I think when most people think about like serving, like they're like, oh, I'm going to sign up to serve in this part of the church or do this, and
which is great, and we need it.
We do need that, but you're 1 hour a week. You know, what are you doing with all the other hours in your week? Because that's actually what's going to make a bigger impact and in the world. And I don't know. So I've always just wrestled with that. Like, we have made church so much about just the building and going to a place. And that's a part of it, but that is never in my mind meant to be the main thing.
Right.
So,
well, I think I believe it was you who eloquently put it one week, you're on your way when we were dealing with our parking situation that's going to hear that, once you get in the building, everything's fine, but you're out in the street giving people the finger because of the parking situation. So maybe you come here, you worship, you fellowship, and then you go out in the world and you be the church out in the world. You don't just leave it at the doorstep on the way out. And I think, that's how, again, kind of not leave it on the doorstep, but how I was raised as well. Like, you go in and you're at church and you're not real excited about it. Then you go home and do whatever you want and then apologize on Sunday. And
well, I mean, my experience has been, and I can talk about this on the podcast, I probably said this from stage, so it doesn't really matter if people get upset with it. I mean, some of the worst people I've ever met are Christians. Like, they're just awful people. But they go to church, they act nice, they're friendly, they're doing all their stuff, they're checking all the boxes for them. But then they go out and they're just not nice, good people. And it's like, I don't understand, and even like the majority of your life is separate from, if we're using church as like the context of a building, the majority of your life is going to be spent away from that, right? And so it's like, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up.
Is that a true, I think it's a Gandhi quote about how Jesus is pretty great, but these Christians,
he says that he loves, it was something like the lines of that he loves the Jesus, he just doesn't love the Christians.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people like that. I think Jesus is, obviously pretty great. I think the concept of Jesus, a lot of people would be into. It's just when you go to church. And church, I mean, can we just be honest? We do so many weird things. Like, there's just so much weird stuff that, like, I just try to be normal. I mean, even on the stage, I just try to do and say normal things and just be like a person. And there's just so much weird stuff in it. And I think that's what turns people off, is not only because we can't get our stuff together all the rest of the time, but it just seems showy. And then, like I said, and then there's just a lot of weird stuff that we do that I'm always like trying to explain to people, like, this is what we're about to do. Like, I've even talked about like worship. Like, worship is weird. Like, there's no context of any other place unless you're like at a baseball game and it's seventh inning and they play Sweet Caroline, that like a bunch of people are just going to stand up together and start singing together. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just weird that we do some of these things. And so, like, we just need to call it out and say, okay, this is part of it, but it's weird, but this should not be the main thing. Like, you should understand that. Like, this isn't the main thing. So
I think it's a good start coming in and saying, hey, this is church. This is not your Christian responsibility for the week. So,
well, and I think, like, I mean, little things like, I'll just be candid. So, I mean, people can just like this, like, people come in and they're like, I talked about this, like they don't feel like this church doesn't meet my needs. Well, the church was never meant to meet your needs like in that context. Or like people be like, well, I haven't found friends here. And I'm like, that's not my problem. Like we have a gathering of people. Like if you can't find friends here, like go talk to somebody, invite them to lunch. Like, so and that's what I mean by be the church is it's not about like this one out or like even serving. Like we talked about, like people are like, well, we can't find ways to serve. I'm like, well, there's a million places we can serve. But number two is like, don't wait for me or our staff to come up with a project for you to like go sign up for to feel like you can serve people. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody in your neighborhood probably needs some type of help, you know?
Well, it's like we work at this building. We're not the gatekeepers between you and God.
Yeah.
Like you can feel free to worship or feel free to serve and follow any way that
well, and like it's like
think of.
It's like we did a project years ago. Okay, and this was the start of my brain like being like, what is going on? We did a project years ago, and there was a widow who had something we had to build. Now again, I talked about you don't want me building anything because it's probably going to go bad, huh? No, it wasn't the ramp. But that ramp, there's a story about that.
I was there
ramp.
for that ramp.
Was a lot.
It was a lot. Yeah.
But there was another project that we did, and turns out, so we're doing this fence. It was a fence for this lady, and it'd been like in disarray for like years, right? And a person that comes to our church happened to live down the street from them and decided to go and help do the fence because we had like a sign up, come help type project. And I was sitting there, I'm like, you could have came and helped this lady at any point in the last 2 years.
That's fair.
But you didn't because it wasn't like a church sanctioned, like I'm going to go help this people. And it's like, I don't know, that was just like one of those things where it's like, you know, or like we go on mission trips to like different parts of like Kentucky and stuff. Like all of a sudden, like we're out there serving. So like the neighbors will come out and start helping. And great, kudos. We need people to do that. That's awesome.
Right.
But I'm also like, you could have been doing this. Like we're only here for a week. Like you live here. Like you could have been doing this the whole time.
Well, like there's that, you know, they're still recovering from the tornadoes and we talk about it. Like, hey, we're going to go taking a group down there. Yeah. But those tornadoes were they 2 or 3 years ago? Yeah. So, I mean.
Still a lot of work. Yeah.
That's a lot going on. So,
and I'm not trying to judge people because that probably all sounded harsh. Everything I was saying. My overall point is like you are the church. So if you're wanting friends, go make friends. Like go meet people. Like in the church. Like it's the church. Like it's not you don't attend something and we're going to solve all your problems. Like you know you've got to be active in this and contribute. And part of that is serving and giving and you know doing all those things. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's
and not just here, but outside of here.
Right. Well, I mean, it's kind of like school where church is a little bit like that, where you go in and you hear the stuff, but if you're not using your day-to-day life, like so much of geometry and things like that has fallen by the wayside through the years, but there's like certain kinds of things that because you use it every single day, you've in your regular, not just the time that you're being told that kind of stuff, but you got any thoughts on any of this, Penny?
I think that also one of the big things I took away from Sunday is that we just assume people are going to do it. And a lot of us that work at a church where we volunteer have been because we've seen people in our past do it, right? So children learn by example. So if we are trying to set an example for our young people, we have to get out and serve, or they won't do it eventually as well. So if we want the future of the church, if you are the church and if you want it to last, you have to be out serving so that other younger people can see you doing that. Because a lot of the reason I work in a church or the reason I serve was because I saw my parents do it.
Right.
So it's really a bad example. So just go out and serve. Listen, with kids ministry, I know that Jeremy had mentioned this on Sunday. I'm not looking for both services. And if you don't even want to do it once a month, you don't have to. You can come serve once every other month in the first service or second service, wherever you want to be. Like, I will find a place for you.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, and we're always looking for good volunteers and, you know, good on Penny and April and the people who are in charge of tons of people, because I only have about 10 people that I work with directly. And it's even putting that kind of situations together. So people who have more needs than that on their day-to-day or their Sunday.
And I'll tell you, and what we really need in kids ministry is men. And I know that like Jeremy's like, you don't want me back there.
Jeremy,
you don't want me. The other guys.
But to have a man back there as an example to some of the boys would be amazing. So if you just want to come back and just hang out and play, like that would mean more than being able to teach a lesson on Sunday morning. So.
No, and for context, I'm good with kids. Everybody probably thinks I'm not. Kids love me. And actually, no, like what I would say too is like, And I think people need to serve in church. But like the most rewarding things that I do is like when I coach soccer and basketball. And people think of that as like coaching, but I'm volunteering. Nobody's paying me to do these things. Like it's just fun to like serve your community and do that. And one of like the most rewarding things I ever did, probably ever, was for like 2 or 3 years. And I don't tell people this because they don't even know what I do for, but like I would go and read it to students at different schools, you know, and just like give a couple hours of my week to go read.
That's fun.
And anybody can do that has the flexibility to do that. And schools are always wanting that, like, people to read to kids and help them and stuff. So that was like a ton of fun to get to do that. And I still see some of those kids like from time to time out in the community that I read to. And so that's like, that's like stuff like I'm talking about. Like, and I think I've always thought the approach of like, okay, let's say we wanted to, like we did that big Sunday where we served like all of Shepherdsville for a day. And I've always thought like, okay, we had 500 people go and serve for 2 hours. And we did a lot of cool stuff. Don't get me wrong. But what if we had 500 people that like during the week were just like, I'm going to take an hour and just serve where I can. Yeah. Like which one makes a bigger impact? Like that we did once, a year, a big service project where 500 people go and try to do something good for their community. Or you have 500 people inspired that, hey, every week I'm going to be like, how can I help somebody? Even if it's just for a little bit, you know? I mean, I think it makes a bigger impact. Well, I think people just don't think like that, and it's a lot.
Well, whenever you're done listening to this podcast, everybody, that is a good challenge for the week. Is just find something this week that you can do that you see going on in your own individual community, and just try to, make it a little bit better than when it started out. So. Yeah. All right, well, so we can wrap this up with just, there's a lot going on this summer, a lot of camps, a lot of vacations, a lot of things like that. What kind of, is there anything you all are doing or listening to or reading or enjoying that people can do now they got a little bit of free time on their hands maybe?
No, I need some new hobbies.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. I'd like,
Jeremy's like the most Renaissance man person
I need
I've ever met,
well, soccer ended, so like, I'm in a funk with running right now, so. I feel like, and I do love to play pickleball.
Yeah,
so.
I got to get back. I have been dealing with a pinched nerve in my shoulder, so I'm feeling all better of those.
You try bowling. I heard that bowling
is rough. No, listen, we went bowling one time last year because my kids they got so into Wii bowling, they wanted to do real bowling, and we had all the people come over and show us how to do it.
Wii bowling? Like on the
Wii.
Nintendo?
Yeah. So I was like, it's different. And we had, I live in the south end of Louisville, very friendly people, a lot of bowlers, and they were all coming over watching us just fail miserably and giving us tips. And actually, some good tips. We got,
And bowling?
I bowled the best game of my life. Our second game, I was like, this is actually, because you see it on TV and you're like, you just rolled this ball, it's fine. But this guy was showing us how to spin.
What's good. Bowling's great.
Well, we went one time because the kids didn't like it, but I was like, I can do this all day. This is fun. So
they had like leagues and stuff.
Oh no, there were some like 14-year-olds that came next to us, and I was like, how do you get to be 14 and be a pro bowler? Like these people showed up with their own balls and bags and jerseys and shoes and
like a roller bag.
Oh yeah, these people
like the pool behind.
Oh, they were. It was like. I don't remember that movie. What's the movie with the
Kingpin?
No, not King. What's the one that everybody likes that I don't like? That's on Big Lebowski.
The Big Lebowski.
Oh, there's a movie called Kingpin too.
I know.
Right?
That's not
with Woody Harrelson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Big Lebowski is great.
Well,
I think bowling
opinions
is a good
are
hobby.
Different. So, you start bowling this summer.
Yeah, I think I might.
It's even got a big laugh.
Yeah, we should just make a bowling league.
The Journey team. We can. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, we should be a team.
I mean,
I'm actually pretty good at bowling.
Oh my gosh,
I'll do it like once a year.
We're gonna do a compilation of things Jeremy's pretty good at.
Yeah, I have a lot.
Is there a bowling alley in this area at all?
Yeah. Is there?
Not in Shepherdsville.
Okay.
Where would be the closest one?
They're so far away.
Yeah, that's a great question. Fern Bowl, maybe? Is Fern Bowl still around?
It is, but that's not close. But yeah, I get it.
In that Fern Valley Road, though, right? Fern Valley and what's that? Cross Street? I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
We need a bowling alley.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, if you're looking to improve Shepherdsville at all, put in a bowling alley. What do you got, Penny? Anything that you got? Any hobbies or anything you're going to get?
No, I have nothing. I'm sorry.
You all are going on your fun trip next week to hear some live music?
Yeah, some live music. Yeah, Railbirds next weekend.
We expect to hear.
And then I'm going to go see Hootie the weekend after.
Are you really doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, that.
We should do challenges on here. That would be a fun element. Oh, I got smelling salts. I need to bring those in.
Well, Penny also had an idea for some challenges.
I did.
Penny wanted us to start doing TikTok things, but I'm a little concerned because
I don't want to do TikTok things. That seems like mine.
Like no Dr. Pepper and pickles
or
something.
Dr. Pepper and pickles? No.
I think it sounds good.
Yeah.
I'd try it.
Well, next time. So what kind of challenge did you have in mind?
First of all, okay, Paul, you were in the meeting, right?
Which one?
The staff meeting
Just
earlier.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so all the crap I'm getting for drinking coconut milk, and they're now
That's
we're saying
fair.
we're
First of
going to
all,
drink
it
Dr.
has-
Pepper with pickles in it.
I mean,
That sounds way more disgusting than coconut milk with chunks
He's got
of
a
coconut
point.
in it.
He's got
it
a
was
point.
not chunks of coconut. It's like jelly. It's nasty, y'all.
Coconut flavored jelly. It doesn't matter.
And this week it was chocolate.
Well, that's way better than regular coconut milk, I'd imagine.
Anyway,
It's
I just wanted to make a point that I got so much, not just from
And
Penny,
aloe.
from all of everybody at the table.
It's like the ongoing joke in the staff meeting. What is Jeremy going to bring to drink?
What is Jeremy drink?
I like it's good.
Yeah.
No, I think challenges. Like I think we should do like a 40-yard dash. So you've got the fastest time. And
See
do,
whose
like-
hamstrings heal up quicker when they burst.
We've already done Top Golf, where we know that me and Paul were best, and then Penny came in and cheated to win. At the end.
Hang on, Paul won. We'll just put that out there.
I won the first round by like
That's
a
fair.
landslide, but
I won the second
A
round.
landslide is not a unit of measurement, and also, Penny, no, you did lose.
Yeah, no,
we
I
do a
won.
lot of challenges. We've had the flight simulator.
yeah. Oh, I think it would be fun. We should come up with one a month or one.
Send us your challenges to Paul at journeyshepardsville.com, and we'll,
I think we should go bowling.
Make sure I can win them, y'all. If you're going to send challenges, I don't like to lose.
we can do. No, never mind. All right. Well, I'm sure
I don't wanna run against
I
these
gotta
guys.
comment.
I had comments, but you know what? We're gonna keep them for off the mics. So Penny's the best, and just not at golfing or wine
I
playing.
am great at golf.
Didn't say you weren't great. Not the best.
Okay, whatever.
Are you?
Fine. It's fine.
So okay. So
what would you say you're the best?
We could
at?
we could do a singing competition. I would win that at least.
You should.
Depends on the song. I got a couple songs that I've learned how to sing pretty well.
Okay, yeah.
You don't want me singing in general because it is awful, but there's a couple songs like I've learned. You sing a song, you kind of learn how to do it.
Okay.
Well, I'm real. Is this a karaoke song, or is this just in general you like to?
Know what? Sing?
Yeah. No. Like, what are a couple songs that you know how to sing? Real well?
I gotta keep them in my bag. just in case there's ever a singing competition I need to be a part of.
All right, we're done.
I like
done.
I like the thought of just you never know when you're going to stumble upon a singing
You
competition.
just gotta have one song you can nail. That's all you gotta have.
You're like Ron Burgundy with his flute and his
Yeah.
thing. You're just always ready
Exactly.
to whip out a song and
Yeah.
get going. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody for listening, and we'll be back with all kinds of great stuff next time. See ya.
It hurt.
I bet it did. My wife was like, I'm not going to do this. The baby wouldn't come out. Stupid
Actually, it
Addie.
didn't hurt if it coming out because you don't feel it.
Penny.
Just get drugs.
Penny, we've had colds before. We understand.
Listen, I'm in a mood. It's weird. Like it's just
Yours is weird. I don't know.
A little belly button.
It's a whole belly button.
It's just weird.
It's weird when the babies are small and they have a little corn chip hanging off of it, and it's gross. Did you have that with your baby? It was just poking out, and they're like, it'll fall off.